chasing him. Oh!
With a leash around his neck and a maniac's glare in his eyes, Melvin Manhoef walked into the ring like a predator unleashed. He terrified giants in MMA and kickboxing alike, but it was his knockouts, the kind that left men twitching on the canvas, that made fight fans crown him with names like No Mercy, Mini Tyson, and the Dutch Beast. When people talk about pure, unfiltered power, his name always explodes to the surface. Melvin didn't fight to outscore you. He fought to erase you. Punch by punch, kick by kick, slam by slam, every strike was a warning that the end was near. But nicknames and stories only scratched the surface. What really etched him into fight history were the nights he walked in fearless, stared down monsters twice his size, and knocked them into tomorrow. This is the story of a man who went from Suriname streets to the Netherlands, from soccer dreams to Thai boxing brutality, and carved out a career that fight fans still whisper about. Stick around, because the deeper we go, the more savage the knockouts get. And trust me, you haven't seen anything yet. Born in May 1976 in Suriname on the Atlantic coast of South America, Melvin's parents dreamed of him becoming a soccer player. They moved to the Netherlands and pushed him toward the sport. But destiny had other plans. Once Melvin discovered Thai boxing, he knew his true path. The warrior's life was calling. At only 19 years old, in December 1995, he entered his very first MMA fight. The rules back then were raw, no gloves, just palm strikes. His opponent was Jordy Yonkers, but Melvin showed no nerves. He beat him down with ease, finishing the fight in the 9th minute. Right from the start, he sent a clear message. This kid was dangerous. After his debut, Melvin focused on kickboxing for 4 years, sharpening his power. But these were only the opening chapters. Bigger fights and greater victories were still coming. In 2005, the Merciless shifted his focus to the light heavyweight division. His fresh start came at Cage Rage, with fireworks setting the stage for his new campaign.
It's a huge flurry. Oh, he's in trouble. Oh.
The fight for the title ended in September. Brazilian fighter Fabio Piemonte was on the receiving end of a crushing attack. Even Piemonte's vaunted BJJ couldn't save him.
Looking for a takedown, single leg, does well.
Returning to vertical combat, Melvin charged and landed a punishing chin spinner.
He's bleeding, but you're right, he's taken them. There's the fireworks, the gun. He's out as well.
It is a knockout.
The fight was over in just 51 seconds. Piemonte's mouthguard flew through the air. Europe realized that explosive power could come in small packages. With that win, Melvin claimed the belt with his first defense set for February 2006. Evangelista Santos arrived from Brazil to challenge him. Known for his ultra-violent style, the Brazilian called Cyborg was the perfect storm for a full-scale war with the Merciless. What followed blew past anything anyone imagined. At first, they traded jabs. Then the rivals ignited. Adrenaline surged, and the fight took a vicious turn.
Here we go, folks.
Melvin wasted no time, cracking him with his signature left hook before unleashing a relentless multi-level assault.
Manhoef got him up against the fence now.
Cyborg has to watch that right hand.
Good shot to the body.
A good headshot followed by a low leg kick.
Wow!
Then Melvin found his moment. He shot from the hip, and suddenly each strike was sharper, faster, and more explosive than anything before. Finally, in the 9th minute, the tension erupted. The energy, the fury, and the precision combined into a single detonation of violence.
He sinks Cyborg. Cyborg's on his back.
Unbelievable!
That night, Europe witnessed one of its greatest MMA battles, perhaps in the world. It was a fight that proved character could surpass technique and common sense. A clash remembered for years to come. For 29-year-old Manhoef, this victory was his long-awaited ticket to the top league. His name was now firmly written among the elite fighters of the sport. Before moving to the heart of MMA in Japan, he defended his title one last time. His challenger, Ian Freeman, a veteran of the UFC, lasted almost 17 fatal seconds before Melvin's power ended the fight.
On the ground.
Not good. Big uppercut.
He's out. Ian Freeman.
In passing, Manhoef also appeared in K1 to face Tetsufumi Tomihira. The Japanese fighter tried to display his samurai spirit at the start. But Melvin's first combination to the head sent him crashing to the canvas. Tomihira briefly recovered, standing again. But within a minute, he collapsed once more under the relentless assault. Having conquered Europe, Manhoef moved to Japan to expand his career. After 5 consecutive MMA wins and celebrating his 30th birthday, he knew he was ready for a massive show scheduled for August 2006. With 14 wins and only 2 losses, Melvin entered the Heroes Light Heavyweight Grand Prix 2006. In the quarterfinals, a member of the Gracie family stepped in.
이를 노려볼 만한 그런 그 기점에 또 올라서는 거죠. 네. 라이트 헤비급 토너먼트 8강.
The Brazilian fighter, a descendant of the legendary clan, did not dare test Melvin's chin and went down at the slightest pressure of the arena.
사실 또 마에다이즘의 전승자라고 불릴 정도로 링.
Melvin, living up to his reputation, dropped the Mr. Nice Guy act and ruthlessly finished off the helpless grappler on the floor. Every strike was precise, leaving no doubt who dominated the cage. In the semifinals, a Japanese fighter entered the ring. At this point, the pace began to favor the merciless. And the energy in the arena rose with every move he made. That same night, the final match took place. Melvin faced Asian TV star Yoshihiro Akiyama. Despite his nickname, Sexyama, the fighter overwhelmed opponents not with charm, but with judo and a naturally devastating punch. Being just inches from the world title, the Predator showed no respect for his opponent's fame and immediately began hunting for openings. For half a minute, the Japanese absorbed blows, skillfully using his judo. Then, finally, he managed to take down the Dutch beast. Melvin was fortunate to quickly regain his feet, but trying to wrestle an experienced judoka turned out to be dangerous, testing his skill and patience. The loss ended his 10-win streak, but did not alter his plans for 2007. In March, Yoshiki Takahashi confronted Melvin. Known as one of the best Japanese pugilists, Yoshiki displayed his skills with pride. But after an initial kick, Melvin quickly turned the tables, defeating the boxer and his own game before Yoshiki even realized it. That summer, the Dutchman returned to the ring, this time wearing a fancy collar. He was matched with a fellow striker whose power rivaled Manhoef's, swinging for the best shots he could land. From the start, the two Gaijins didn't waste time. They staged a showdown that had the audience on the edge of their seats. The Merciless dominated, knocking his opponent down and completing the mission with ease. But in June, his battle with Ruslan Karayev, an old rival, showed no mercy. It took the merciless just 31 seconds to settle old scores with his nemesis. A left hook suddenly connected with the lethargic Karayev, and the Russian crumbled under the force, leaving the cage in awe of Manhoef's power.
The man from Holland.
That's the shot.
Melvin had no intention of slowing down in MMA. In less than a year, 3 more opponents went down for the count,
Knee to the head. It's over. That's it.
barely able to defend themselves. By the summer of 2008, Manhoef had a record of 21 wins and 4 losses, including 20 victories by knockout. His fists were feared across the globe, and every fight added to his legend. After signing a contract with a brand new promotion, Melvin immediately joined the Grand Prix as a middleweight. In the quarterfinals, his opponent was none other than Kazushi Sakuraba. Credited with putting Pride FC on the map, the Japanese fighter was already a legend, with a career filled with miraculous wins on the canvas. A small theatrical entrance by Sakuraba seemed almost prophetic for him. Manhoef paused at first, testing his distance, but a head kick followed by a punch signaled the fight's early ending. Thinking quickly, Melvin landed a cheeky shot and then brutally finished the Pride pioneer with no regard for his legendary status. The samurai tried to cling to consciousness, but the combination of strikes was too much. Within moments, he crumpled, and Manhoef became a star overnight. Manhoef returned in early December 2008 to K1. Before his matchup, the 235-pound Paul Slavinsky trash-talked him. Melvin stayed calm, replying with nothing aggressive, but in the ring, his fists spoke louder than words. Driving the Polish powerhouse into the corner was almost ceremonial. The first knockdown left Slavinsky stunned, and the second rendered him completely dumbstruck, regretting every insult. Later that year, Manhoef was offered a New Year's Eve gala against Mark Hunt. The Dutchman was hesitant to face a super heavyweight in MMA, but his manager dared him. He asked, "What would you do if Hunt harassed a girl in a bar?" The story of that fight became legendary. In just 18 seconds, the hairy chin of Hunt was deflowered, and Manhoef cemented his reputation as one of the most merciless fighters alive. In 2009, kickboxing dominated Melvin's year. He focused on refining his striking, perfecting his combinations, and keeping his fists dangerous. In MMA, the merciless appeared only twice. In July, he faced former WEC champion Paulo Fijo, who had an almost perfect record, 16 wins and 1 loss. Early in the fight, to everyone's surprise, Manhoef easily blocked a takedown and immediately pressed the attack.
Here comes Manhoef. He's unloading the heavy arms. 1, 2.
Oh, he heard him.
Body
Another
shot. Still having a whole lot of trouble.
In his way. I mean, he's doing a good job.
But the assault wasn't brief enough, and it cost Melvin his verticality. Paulo, one of the best grapplers in MMA, seized the opportunity on the mat and took control.
It's over.
Late in the year, Melvin was invited to a New Year's Eve show. Winning was a must. True to form, he warmed up the Japanese crowd on his way to the ring, then unleashed a perfect storm that lasted almost 2 minutes.
For almost 2 minutes. Super intensity.
He hammered his left hook 3 times, forcing the retreating Japanese fighter to the canvas. With that victory, the 33-year-old Melvin celebrated 15 years in MMA. Blows whizzed overhead constantly, but his record, 23 knockouts in 24 wins, showed that the merciless always met business with his eyes on the prize. January 2010 began like a one-act drama. At first, Lawler tried to retreat, but Melvin's heavy leg attacks came into play. Just when victory seemed certain, the Dutchman found himself on the receiving end of a thunderous knockout.
Getting to limp now, and again, Manhoef continues overhead.
This defeat marked a turning point. Strikeforce foreshadowed a long losing streak, and failures haunted the Merciless for 2 years, depriving him of the sweet taste of victory. Manhoef staged a triumphant comeback in ONE FC. From the start, Ryo Kamawura tried to confuse him with unpredictable behavior, but after giving Melvin a sample of his painful strikes, the Japanese fighter only awakened the beast.
Respect. He did it all! He did it again! Big right hand.
Kamawura's tricks didn't work. Melvin stayed focused, and his career roared back to life. He made Dennis Kang, a hardened veteran with 15 years of experience, finish his own fight. The slugfest was brutal, but Manhoef's knees proved too sharp for the seasoned fighter. After a bouncing blow with a single knee that sent Dennis into the air, Melvin ended the fight decisively, sending his opponent into a well-deserved retirement. His final appearance in Asia came in 2013, remembered for the viral showdown against Brock Larson.
Head kick again. Oh, he's chasing him. Oh!
In the cage, Manhoef tried to finish the fight quickly, hoping to avoid leaving it to the scorecards. But spending too much time on the floor worked against him, and he ended up with a disappointing verdict. Still, the hilarious clip went viral online, bringing Melvin a wave of attention and admiration. Offers from the US flooded in, but one for the road was irresistible. He replayed the immortal clash with Evangelista Santos. The fight showed that Cyborg's once impenetrable armor had weakened over time. Manhoef finished Santos in just 46 seconds. Next in line was the MMA Premier League.
No mercy.
And the 38-year-old Dutchman was ready. In September 2014, he moved to Bellator. In the main event, former title challenger Doug Marshall looked impressive on the poster, but in the ring, Melvin's strikes proved lethal.
Oh, that's it. Manhoef looking to finish, and he does. Another.
2 months later, Melvin faced pure kickboxer Joe Schilling, who hadn't fought MMA in 6 years, but had collected numerous Thai boxing belts and a prestigious Glory title.
The bell and round.
Melvin showed no respect for Schilling's reputation and went all out, forcing the American to scramble. Miraculously, Schilling survived the first knockdown and stalled until the gong. In the second round, Melvin tried a trip that would end the fight decisively.
Melvin Manhoef, but here comes Joe Schilling. Eats another left hand. Oh my God! That is it! A one-punch knockout!
He got carried away. Schilling caught him with a perfect right hook, earning Knockout of the Year.
Another left hand. Oh my God!
In February 2015, Melvin faced former Bellator champion Alexander Shlemenko.
That's what oh, good left hand!
As the first 5 minutes comes to an end, and McDaniel.
At first, it seemed like an ideal matchup. But contrary to expectations, Alexander immediately disrupted Manhoef's rhythm with probing back fists. Melvin struggled to adapt, trying to regain control of the fight. Just as he began to feel victory within reach,
Oh, it hurt him! That's it! Speaking of the knockout,
the challenge intensified, reminding everyone that even the merciless could face unexpected resistance. A spinning back fist sent him into oblivion. No wonder Alexander Shlemenko earned the nickname The Storm. Later that year, Melvin was given his last shot at a belt. His opponent was Hisaki Kato, a relative unknown before shocking the world with a win over Joe Schilling. To start the fight, Kato promised a massive slugfest. True to his word, he rushed headlong into the battle, throwing everything he
The
had.
left kick. Trying to put pressure. Manoff, that uppercut almost got through.
Those right hands, he's hitting him over the top. Now Kato comes back.
Unhappy with the first exchange, the samurai initiated a second clash.
Accurate shots from Kato.
After the first time, Manoff scrambling, covering up.
Pressing forward with aggression to try and overwhelm Melvin.
They meant it.
As plummet by Melvin Manoff, and it's over.
Man!
But the Merciless was ready. With a perfectly timed left hook, Manhoef added another masterpiece to his collection, reminding everyone of his knockout power. He got a chance at the Bellator belt, but not to wear it. In his 40th year title fight against Rafael Carvalho, Melvin was the only fighter showing effective aggression. Yet when the bout ended, the judges disappointed him by keeping his hand down.
And at his most disappointing performance in his first defense.
And still.
It was only in his 5th decade that Melvin began to slow down. Even then, he continued performing in MMA out of sheer love for the sport. Stepping into the cage whenever passion called, holding a record of 32 wins, including 29 knockouts and 15 losses. Between fights, he coaches at his gym in Holland and keeps his hands active. For example, in March 2022, poor robbers who underestimated him paid dearly for it. Melvin Manhoef spent 3 explosive decades in the cage, splitting his time between MMA and kickboxing. Over 100 fights later, he may not have grabbed every belt, but with a 91% knockout rate, he never left fans disappointed. Decades from now, the memories of the Merciless will still hit hard. But here's a question for you. Was Melvin Manhoef truly the most feared striker in MMA history? Or did he just get lucky against the right opponents? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's see who dares to debate it. If you want to witness even crazier fights, legends going all out, and underdogs absolutely destroying cocky giants, click the video on the screen now. Check the pinned comment for all the links to these insane knockouts. You won't believe your eyes.